my dear friends, good morning. Here we are, 15 years from yesterday, a dream that was Concordia to today, the miracle that is Concordia. Dreams and miracles, two simple words, yet they capture the heart of what we have built together. Let us not forget that dreams are necessary and that miracles are possible. Don't you agree? Yes, you agree. Concordia was founded with possibility, alongside an aspiration which infused all involved to strive in the timeless march to becoming the best version of oneself. Along this journey, nothing was easy. For nothing of true value ever is easy. Every step of the way was hard. And I want to congratulate the Concordia team and of course my brother Nick and Matt for shepherding Concordia with a wisdom and savviness way beyond their years, for encouraging courage. More of that later. For producing an aspirational and inspirational enterprise, for fighting to be that hard to achieve more than, for staying far from the temptation of that easy to achieve less than, for bringing the world together, for keeping Concordia democratic in the classical Greek sense of the word, where the president sits amongst the students, where the patriarch meets the aspiring entrepreneurs of tomorrow, where the CEO of today is educated by the innovators of tomorrow. We aim to create a framework where fluidity of mind is encouraged and where our curiosity is given velocity, both of which can produce perspective. And perhaps the president can learn more from the student than from the other president. And in a time when divisions feel sharper than ever, Concordia is at its best when those who see the world through different lenses sit at the same tables, turning disagreements into dialogues and dialogue into understanding. They did it. They did it. Now today we have young people from all corners of the world, 102 countries. To you, the young, I say this: it is obvious that being believed in is a good thing, but so is not being believed in. How so? One can produce confidence, community, coherence. The other can produce motivation, community, coherence. We grow from both, even from the non-believers. Concordia has had its share. I have had mine. My family has had plenty. But we don't subconsciously succumb to the wasp of woe or the bee of bitterness. We try to consciously convert that very disbelief into fuel. A fuel tank of drive, of possibility, of motive. Now, we as humans, we have little agency over what comes at us. But we do have full sovereignty over how we elect to respond, how we reciprocate from within when the dark storms descend from without. And often, they descend from the most unexpected places. Always beware the enemy from within. Never underestimate the need for community, family, the tribal umbrella to produce unlimited strength and infinite courage, especially when the currents shift. Family, community, tribe. For the understanding from the few can help inure you against the lack of understanding of the many. So I pose to you, the young people here today, the next time you are put down, spoken down to, made fun of, told that it cannot be done, don't tell me it can't be done. Tell me what can be done. Here, in this room, from every corner of the world, from every side of the aisle, you are living proof that even in a moment this fractured can still come together. That we can still stand tall. That we can still find what can be done. Mindset drives outcome. We have agency over our mindset. Therefore, we have agency over our outcome. And why not convert any lack of belief in you into a more pristine purpose, a renewed vigor in your mission, a higher bar of achievement for yourselves? Say thank you and hold the line. Stand tall and stand firm. Going forward, of course, Concordia must gird itself to resist the winds of hubris, to keep our humanity alive, to protect the fragile art of civil dialogue, to hold space for disagreement without division. It's okay to disagree. To always foster the values of democracy that we espouse, to stay humble, humane, to stay true to the original dream. But here we are. Proof that it can be done. Concordia did it. We did it. Against the odds and against the currents, which were often mighty, which were sometimes veiled. But now what? We're not finished. In some ways, we've yet to begin. We are in the midst of a seismic generational shift. These are interesting and dangerous times. But we have always lived in interesting and dangerous times. Just read the history books if you ever require perspective on that. It is the power of community that always got us through these interesting and dangerous times. But an online community is not this. A real community. We are social animals. Yet the more technologized and digitized our societies become, the less humane and the more divided they can also become. Every time throughout history, when there is an information revolution, a social revolution accompanies it. The printing press, the radio, TV, the internet, AI. We are living in the eye of that storm as those who came before us did. And part of the antidotes to preserving our humanity, our communities, our perspective on life, I believe, are awareness, are to govern technology as opposed to allowing technology to govern us, are to educate our young children, not just entertain them, to click more on insights than outrage. But alas, as you know, it's fear that sells more than hope. And a reminder that we don't export humanity into our phones, yet our phones constantly import anxiety into us. Hence, the path of gradual desensitizing that we need, I believe, to be aware of. This is why Concordia, the mission, the community of leaders from yesterday, today, and tomorrow, the democratic umbrella of the world here today, the reminders to dream and that miracles are possible, is more important than ever. I really believe it. Sometimes We just need a reminder to dream, a reminder of miracles, a reminder to venerate the notion that it's freedoms earned by those who came before us that granted us the freedoms we now possess. And freedom is not free. It's not. Never has been, never will be. And just as I remind myself that hope is free, I also remind myself to always encourage courage. Another mission embedded into the DNA of Concordia, my family, and the organizations I head. My friend Virginia, the head of the Lighthouse for the Blind in Miami, an amazing organization I visited some weeks ago that we have very proudly been supporting for the last few years. Virginia is now 83. But when she was 55 years old, she was told overnight she had a degenerative eye disease that would within a few months lead to total blindness. One meeting, one blink, one lightning bolt of shock and terror. Virginia called her elderly mother immediately and told her she was going to go blind. Her mother said, "Well, my dear, I will pray that you will do big things for the blind." Virginia said, upset and annoyed, "Mom, I have no idea what you are talking about. I didn't even know any blind people." To which her mother said, "You will, and you will do well." She encouraged courage. Virginia went on to do the same for others. She revolutionized the lives of thousands. She lived her fullest life. She became the best version of herself. She outdid and overcame the barriers imposed and the doors closed. She proved irrefutably that visible disadvantages, they can, and they so often give birth to even greater invisible advantages. A wiser statement from a parent I have never heard. Being different is a potential strength, not a necessary limitation. Courage counts. Words from parents during times of distress count. Framing pain with wisdom counts. Encouraging courage creates heroes. Virginia is a hero. My brother Nick is a hero. Matt is a hero. The team of Concordia are heroes. In this very room, I see so many heroes. Why? Because they and you all strive to make things better in a world where we are constantly reminded of what is worse. Heroes remind us of our better angels. Cowards remind us of our worst demons. Heroes remind us of not just who we are or who we have been, but of who we can yet become. Heroes can be a bridge to hope and aspiration when we need it most. Heroes at base help us to become the best version of ourselves, which is precisely where I started. The best version of ourselves. Thank you.